Morgan 4.4 Roadster 1967. An island of constancy in an automotive sea of change, the Morgan Motor Company looks set to continue building its unique vintage-style cars well into the 21st century. Indeed, the Morgan 4/4 is the world's longest-running production vehicle, today's version being recognizably the same car as its 1936 forebear, and none the worse for that, as the ever-lengthy waiting list would seem to confirm. After formative years spent in the drawing office of the Great Western Railway, engineer H.F.S. Morgan progressed to automobile manufacture, showing his first three-wheeled car at Olympia in 1910. The first four-wheeled, four-seater Morgan appeared in 1936, powered by Coventry Climax's 1,122cc, four-cylinder, inlet over exhaust engine. 2 years later, a special Climax engine sports model competed at Le Mans, qualifying for the Biennial Cup. A special standard 1,267cc overhead valve four-cylinder engine was introduced for the 1939 season and would continue to power the 4/4 model to 1950. Reintroduced with Ford 100D power in 1955 after a 5-year hiatus, the 4/4 was regularly updated with more modern engines and currently is powered by the 1.6-liter Ford Sigma unit. This stunning Morgan 4/4 two-seater was dispatched on November 11, 1967, destined for the United States, where it was sold new by Joe Cam's Autorama of Pennsylvania. The Morgan Motor Company certifies that the car was outfitted from new with a leather interior, wire wheels, a heater, and the extremely rare and highly desirable louvered bonnet. In 1985, the Morgan was discovered by Norris Haynes of Archdale, North Carolina. Norris found the car in Florida under the ownership of the believed to be second owner, Ronald K. Ray. At the time of discovery, it was apparent that the car had been off the road for quite some time and was in need of some attention. Being a Morgan expert and retired engineer turned Morgan restorer, Norris couldn't help but purchase the car in hopes of one day bringing it back to its former glory. The car sat with Norris until 1997, when Jeffrey March made an agreement to purchase the vehicle along with a brand new frame, with the understanding that Norris would complete a full nut and bolt, no expense spared, Conquer-level restoration. Norris was so thorough and meticulous with each stage of the restoration process that from start to finish, the project took 10 years to complete. Every stage of the extensive restoration is incredibly documented and neatly organized in the car's extensive history file. After the 10-year restoration was complete, Mr. March was left with an absolute jaw-dropping Morgan 4/4 that could arguably be called the finest in extant. The exterior is finished in a deep twilight blue over tan connelly leather interior, which is contrasted by deep blue Wilton wool carpets pipped with tan leather. The cockpit is protected by an excellent fitting deep blue stay-fast canvas top and tie cover, which are also pipped with a matching tan leather accent. Under the hood, starting with freshly .020 bored cylinders, the engine was upgraded with a mild cam, hardened racing valves and springs, and stronger pistons and rings. The crank, bearings, and rods are all of a higher spec racing caliper as well. Twin Webers have been mounted on a free-flow aluminum intake manifold with high-volume air cleaners, ensuring an adequate supply of fresh air to the engine. The wrapped aluminum headers help to maintain a cool running temperature while also adding to the race-inspired look. In 2009, shortly after the restoration was completed, the car was acquired by the consignor, a prominent British car collector, who has had an absolute blast honing and enjoying this gem over the years. Used sparingly since its rebirth, this well-sorted Morgan abounds with potential to be shown or driven spiritedly by its next owner.